Hello all, welcome to another LeetCode video. Today we are going to solve LeetCode 235, lowest common ancestor of binary search tree. Now in this problem, if we read the description, so we are given a BST where and then in the BST we will be given two nodes P and Q, and then we need to find what is the lowest common ancestor of 2 and 8. For example, in this one, what is the LCA for 2 and 8 is 6. So if I look at the binary tree here, so it is, if I see that 2 is left hand side of 6 and then 8 is the right hand side of 6, and then in this case the lowest common ancestor will be 6, right? We are looking for the parent here, the ancestor, right? So let's understand how we can solve this problem. So there are a couple of cases that we need to look at, and then once solve each cases one by one, then we should be able to pass all the test cases, right? So let's see. So first one, as I mentioned about the, let's say if P is 2 and then Q is 8. So in this diagram, the P which is here, right, and then a Q which is here, right? So in this case, when a particular node that we are looking, if one is on the left hand side, one is on the right hand side, then definitely this ancestor cannot be below somewhere, in the below tree, right? It has to be on the top, up on the upper side. So if we arrive any cases where uh, P is less than your root node, and then Q is greater than your root node, then definitely that particular root, this which means this one, is basically your LCA, that is lowest common ancestor. So this is a first basic case, right? But there could be a possibility where your P and Q can be both the either left hand side or they can be on the right hand side. Then definitely your LCA will be either in the left hand side or either on the right hand side. For example, another example given is, let's say P equals to 2 and Q equals to 4, right? In this case both are less than 6, so definitely your LCA will be somewhere in the below, right? So if you go again and further we try to figure it out, where the LCA could be. So in this case we match found is here. So if root is equals to your P or Q, right, then that particular root is basically going to be your lowest common ancestor. So this is another case. So if I find a match anywhere, then that particular node will become your LCA. If I don't find a match, then again we have to traverse down a tree and then try to figure out what is the LCA. For example, let's take another example here. So let's say uh, P is your 7 and then Q is also 9, which is basically these two nodes, right? Now I started with this particular node and then I started traversing. So I saw that okay, 7 and 9 both are greater than 6. So I have to traverse on the right hand side because it is BST. So everything is on the left is smaller and then everything on the right is greater than 6, right? Now again I came here, right? Now if I compare here, so now 7 is less than 8, but it is, and the 9 is greater than 8. So based on the earlier rule that we have written, so anything which is less than root and then anything which is greater than root, then definitely that root is going to be your LCA. Okay. So that is another example that I try to give you. So if I find, so we have to check whether if your P or Q belongs to either side of the root, then definitely the root will be your LCA. If not, then you have to do the traversal, go down in the tree and then try to figure it out where your LCA is present. And then as soon as you find any node that is equals to your root node, then that node will become, say for example in case of 2 and 4, so I find that P equals to 2, so then your P will become LCA, right? So let's see how we can code it. So it's quite simple code. So what we have to check first, whether we need to see whether your P or Q belongs to left hand side or right hand side. So we have to see, okay, so here P is actually tree node, so we have to check if P dot well is less than root dot well and Q dot well is less than root.val. So in this case I have to traverse on the left hand side, traverse on the left, because it is less, right? So when it is less, we have to traverse on left hand side. Else, if p.val is greater than your root.val, p.val is greater than root.val and q.val is also greater than root.val, so both the nodes are actually greater, then you have to traverse on the right hand side. For example, that I explained, let's say for 7 and 9 case, right, both are greater than 6, so I have to go in the right. If I don't find now, if both conditions are not matched, so that means either they are equals to one of the node, the root is equals to one of the node, or one of the, either p is on the left hand side or q on the right hand side. So that could be other possibility. So in this case I just return root node, I won't be doing anything. So for example, for 2 and 8, 2 it on the left hand side and q on the right hand side, which is 8, right? So in this case both condition will not match, then I'll traverse, I'll just return the root. Here I have to traverse right hand side, right hand side, okay. And then so let's say I'll do traverses. So self dot lowest common ancestor, and then I have to traverse on the left. So I'll traverse left with those q and p and q value. Otherwise I'll traverse on the right hand side. Self dot root dot right, and then your p and q values, basic nodes, and then finally whatever result it will return, I'll put it into node and then node will be submitted. So that's the logic here. Let's test it. There's no error in the code. Yes, all test case goes fine, and then you can just submit. Hope you like the video. Thank you for watching. Oh, something was wrong. Root dot right, it should be RT. Sorry, let's test again. Yeah, it works fine. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you like the video. See you again tomorrow.